Hello, Venkatesh Maha, and welcome to Film Companion South. Uh, Congratulations on Uma Maheshwara Guru Rupasya. It's getting great reviews.
Thank you very much, Bharadwaj Garu, and thank you so much, Film Companion, for always being support for my films. People are really liking the film, and I'm really happy. I'm on top of Cloud9 right now.
One of the things that people are always scared of, or at least I'm always scared of, when I see a first film by a filmmaker, and I love that first film, is like, oh my god, is this person going to make another film that lives up to it, right? Because it's like the second film is always the big test, right? Because the first film comes with all the passion, all the pent up ambition and all that kind of stuff, and you make the film, and then the second film happens, and sometimes you're like, oh my god, was the first film just a fluke? And that didn't happen with you, so congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
But what made you say, there are so many directions that you could have gone after Care of Kanchirapalam? What made you say, I want to do a remake of Maheshwara Pratikar?
So the first and foremost reason is I was writing another screenplay after Care of Kanchirapalam, and that screenplay itself asking me for some time. Yeah, just give me some time. I'll come out really good in it. So then I felt like, okay, take your time, just come out.
Was that screenplay about an underwater adventure?
Not actually. It's about I don't know whether I should say this. Like it's a tiny creature versus a big creature.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I can tell. So.
But it's a kind of a big budget movie.
It's going to be a big budget. So that's what it was growing bigger and bigger, and So I thought to give it some time to etch well. And the other thing is with the experience of Care of Kanchirapalam, I not only evolved as a director or writer, but also as a human being. So I have to observe a lot of things from the human being, and when people are accepting my kind of stories, I have to tell them the right story. I was also very thirsty to make another film because, I always feel like I can only breathe in a film set. Like it actually works like a ventilator for me. So I was struggling with that, and Praveen Garu came to me and I said, "Why are you struggling like that? No, just you have to do something right away. Why can't you remake a film?" Then I told her, so I was getting some Korean film remake offers and Hindi film remake offers like that. So I told Praveen Garu, if at all I have to make any remakes, I would only remake 2 films in my whole life. The first film is Something. The second film is Maheshwara Pratikar, I told her. So we tried to start the first film. We approached an actor, but it seems like it didn't work out.
Can you tell us what that film is?
No, it's actually I'm very selfish when it comes to content. I'm very selfish, so I couldn't say that now, but I will definitely make that film at one point of my career.
Okay.
So then I asked her to watch Maheshwara Pratikar, and she loved the film like anything, and she felt like this film has to be told to Telugu audience. This is very soft. Then we started materializing the film. So the second reason for making this film is after Care of Kanchirapalam, Praveen Garu and I, we both collaborated and started a new production house, thinking of making all the films together going forward. So as a director, I also have to I felt like this screenplay that I was writing is becoming big and big every day. So and I have to have hands-on experience to manage bigger crowd, bigger set, so bigger team. So then I felt I have to have an hands-on experience of controlling or handling a bigger set. So that's one reason. And Praveen Garu also, as a producer, she has to have some experience of handling a bigger set, the logistics of the bigger set. So for that reason, that is also another reason for us to make this film, to experience that, handling that bigger set. Like there were days in Guru Rupasya, like we shot it for 37 days, and for 20 to 25 days, there were like 150 people in the set, and on one side, Pravina used to shout, like she was like, it was fun to watch Pravina on set. And on the other side, I was also screaming to control that much crowd and all those things in a remote place in Andhra Pradesh. So yeah, that experience we wouldn't have gotten if we didn't do this film. And suddenly, if we have jumped into a bigger film, uh, it would have fallen flat on our face. And the third reason is not only in Telugu cinema but also in Indian cinema. For the last few years, we have only seen macho personalities, masculine characters, rough characters, tough characters. But when we watch Mahesh into Pratikaram, this guy Mahesh is so adorable. So he's so adorable and very soft. But at the end, he becomes a hero. So I just wanted to show that hero's journey hero's journey. So that's the reason we picked Mahesh into Pratikaram. We just wanted to show Telugu audience that this is like, you know what? So to say exactly, 95% of people who come to theaters to watch films, they never watch themselves on screens. They only watch, larger than life characters, and after going out of the theater, they think they feel like not enough. They are not enough for themselves, and they feel they have to attain that kind of posture, six packs, and like they have to get all those things to be attractive or to be enough. We just wanted to say people, like, we tried to tell that in Kanchirapalam, but it's still our first film, and people took Raju as Raju, not themselves. So now we just wanted to show people that see, here you can also become a hero. So like you are also enough for yourself, for your life, is what we wanted to show. So that's why we wanted to tell this story to Telugu audience with with a great respect towards them. These are few reasons. There are a lot of other reasons, tiny reasons, but these are the main reasons that we made this film.
No, you call this a hero's journey, but like one thing I wanted to ask you is, are you a very kind person in real life? Because in Care of Kanchirapalam, you just feel a lot of love, not just for the characters, but for the people, the setting, and the same thing in Uma Maheshwara Guru Rupasi as well. At the end, he's even though he's a hero, he's so sweet, so nice, so kind. Even the villain is kind of not a villain by the end, because he's lying on the hospital bed and he's not exactly hugging the hero, but he's still, there's a niceness to all this. There is no unpleasantness. So are you basically a nice person?
It's actually a very good answer, a very good question. So to say exactly, despite of being nasty, sly, uncontrollable kid, I grew up in a very good environment. Around nice people, bad people. I've seen, like, my environment used to have everyone, every kind of person, and I grew up in between those people. Since I was I'm from a middle class family, so as a middle class kid, the one advantage is you can see the world both ways. You can see a rich mama coming home and blabbering, and you can see some poor babai, poor uncle coming home and saying his kashtalu, his problems and all. And we have both. We have we have pride, we have problems, all those things. So all these things I grew up watching. I grew up experience all these things, and when I was 16, I actually left my house to live independently. So when I was leaving the house, I told my mom, I'm leaving, and she said, "Yeah, go, but just think about it. Just think about it if you're doing right thing." I was so eager to just explore my own life, so I just left the house. After 2 months, I worked in a small company as a sales executive, and I earned some money and came back home with some gifts. And by then, I was missing the house already. So I told my mom. I asked my mom, "Mama, I'll stay back." I understood life. I understood life. It's very simple. It's just going to the job and earning some bucks. See, my mom told, it's not earning bucks. You earn lot of respect from your family. don't lose that respect. Just go away. I don't want you to stay at home. Is what she
That
said, and she,
that's unusual.
yeah, she just she just kicked on my bum and she asked me to leave the house. And then started the real life for me. You know, there was no money in my hands. So I was 16 years old. Whatever money I got, I just spent the whole money in 2 days. I used to sleep in the bus stands. I'm just recollecting those days of my life. So I used to buy a newspaper in the morning, and everyone in the workplace used to ask me, "Why are you buying newspaper? Oh, you are a great. You read everything." And yeah, I read everything. I love news. I love reading news. They used to treat me as a very intelligent person, but I used to buy that newspaper to put it on floor in the bus stand to sleep on it, because so that my dress won't get dust to go to wear it to the next day. Yeah, so those kind of things, and you used to sleep in the bus stands and take bath in the bank of River Krishna. There, I used to meet a lot of vagabonds, sadhus, and all those people. And I used to talk with them. They used to tell a lot of stories. I used to meet few people who used to speak. I felt it like an American English or a UK English. So they used to speak that English, but they're sadhus, without dress, all those things. So I learned a lot of things from there. And one thing in that process, like I've done a lot of jobs, like a lot of odd jobs, from a small sales boy in a milk product shop to a BPO, like to a good position in BPO. I did a lot of different jobs, and I used to gain knowledge, and I used to observe people in different sections, like from in all these different odd jobs. They used to be I met, I encountered a lot of different types of people, different classes of people, and I used to observe things from them. So in this whole process, I understood one thing. Um, I felt happiness. You will never get happiness until you practice to be happy. So it's like that nirvana. If you practice meditation, you reach to a certain point, right? In the same way, happiness is also a kind of like it's similar to nirvana. Happiness and a smile on your face comes with practice. I used to be very nasty. I used to be very short tempered before. But after seeing all these people, knowing things, understanding things, I felt like only through practice you can be happy. And while I was struggling in film industry before making Kanchirpalam, I was still not happy. While making care of Kanchirpalam, I evolved as a human being also. I like all these experiences from my jobs and my life, independent life, gave me one kind of information, one kind of learning, and making care of Kanchipalam gave me another type of learning. So all these together, mixed up, and I found the solution to it. It's like as they say, practice makes man perfect. I found it for myself. I'm not preaching this to anyone. I just found this for myself. Practice makes man human. So even to smile, you have to practice your smile. Otherwise, you won't smile. I've seen a lot of people without I think they never smiled in their life. So with practice only comes happiness, is what I felt. And I started practicing. I didn't attain that point. I just started practicing happiness. So yeah, I'm so sorry I told you a big story, but
No, it's
yeah,
a fascinating story, and I think you're absolutely right, because sometimes more than, yes, it's always fascinating to talk to film people and learn about the technical aspects of a film. But sometimes there are these wonderful personal stories that I think can be almost as useful, because they help us as human beings as well. So thank you for sharing these aspects of your childhood, and this, how you came about to this nirvana state.
it's not nirvana yet. I'm not that perfect. Actually, I have a lot of flaws. I'm practicing to unflaw my flaws. So it's just that like yeah, I'm like, since it is an interview, actually talking very cool and nice and all. But if you see me in a film set,
But
it's totally another person. Yeah.
yeah, of course, yeah, a more stressful person. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your approach to Maheshinda Pratikaram? Because did you say this is the original story? Now, how do I make it for Telugu audiences? Was that your basic approach?
Yeah, I never thought of audience receiving at all before when I thought of making Guru Pasya. I didn't think about audience at all. I just wanted to tell the story, and if they like it, they'll watch it. If they don't like it, they reject it. So, but the story should be the same. Like the story, I have to tell the story. That was the drive in me. So when I met Dilish Potan Garu and asked him, I asked him. Sir, I'm adopting your child, your baby. How do you want me to nurture it? He just told me silently, just make it your child. So then I got open hands, like I got liberty to do whatever I want to do with this story, and I just wanted to tell that particular story to the audience, and yeah, that's it. I didn't think about how people will receive this film, what to do. I do think about audience. My concern for audience is to tell a good story, a good story with good character, like various kinds of characters and people. Yeah, so that's the only motto. Yeah.
And how did you go about? Did you you have one model of a film there, and how?
Hmm.
What is your translation process?
Translation process is like when I watch Mahesh into Pratikaram, this guy Mahesh is a very innocent, soft person, very vulnerable person. So as I told you, when I just wanted to put my voice and my soul to the film. Like I use this story as a medium, and I just wanted to put my ideology into the film. So that's why when you see the film, when you compare scene by scene, all the scenes will be there in this film, but the motive of the scenes are different.
Yeah.
They speak the same dialogue, but the meaning from Telugu dialogue gives you another meaning. It gives you another idea. That's how I owned this story. And I told some people on social media that this is the story from an original film called Mahesh Pratikaram, but the life in this film is my original. So that's how I own this story.
One of the ways you've owned the story, and not just this story, but also Kanchirapalam, is in absolutely rooting both these films in the milieu. So it's not
Yeah.
just that the actors feel like they belong, because part of all this is the performances as well, but everything seems to be so rooted. There's no suddenly some popular actors coming in from outside the state and pretending to be like a Telugu heroine or whatever it is. There's no artifice. How do
Yeah.
you manage to get this kind of naturalness in both Kanchirapalam and in this film?
Yeah, yeah. To perfectly answer this, I'm not from a filmmaking school background. Like I haven't had a privilege to go to film school and learn things in film school. And in a way, corrupt my mind. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. I'm not saying all the film school people are corrupted, but I'm just telling that I'm not corrupted in that way. So when I was 20, I came to films and I started working I worked in almost all kind of jobs in films, and I started picking knowledge from my work practically. So that's how I understood filmmaking. That's how I understood writing, and we watch a lot of international films, and like from there I understood writing and all those things. So one thing I felt is while learning the whole filmmaking, I learned that for some reason, most of the Indian cinema, most of the Indian films is missing that realistic essence, the authenticity of the place or the setup that the story is placed. So for example, like I see a lot of people talking about international cinema, praising international cinema, but they only pick technicalities, and we don't even reach that kind of technicalities. I don't know why. We get inspired, but we don't reach there. The other thing we don't pick is the authenticity that they maintain when it comes to the setup or the behaviors of the people or the looks of the people. So I felt I have to do this. I promised myself that whichever setup I put the film in, I place the film in, I have to stay true to the place, first of all. So then, whatever it is, for these two films, I got a chance to place it in, Kanchirapalam. People say that it's a rural film or a village film, but I don't agree to it because it's actually an urban film. The urban side that we don't know. For us, urban life is skyscrapers and cars and software employees and all those things. But that's actually, Kanchirapalam is in the middle of Visakhapatnam. So it's an urban life. It's an urban story for me. So the urban story that we didn't explore. On the other side, Uma Maheswara Ugrarupasa is set in a village, and I wanted to be that film to be in village. I wanted to be so authentic. Like I just wanted to show it very authentically. If I make a multimillionaire story, I will be definitely. I will try my best, and I'm not the best. I only try to make it so authentic, and make his life or the place so authentic. So that's the reason why I actually try to be more authentic. In order to bring that authenticity, so I'm not like I was born and brought up in Vijayawada, and I lived in Hyderabad most of my life. I'm not a rural person, but in order to bring that authenticity, for example, for Kanchirapalam, I lived in Kanchirapalam for almost 5 months to bring all those details into the screenplay. So for Uma Maheswara Ugrarupasa also, the whole team, I usually take my sound designer, cinematographer, and also assistant directors to the location vacay. And for this film, we went to Araku 2 months before the shoot. And one thing I always do is I don't set up my pre-production office in Hyderabad, in the lanes of in the streets of Film Nagar. I set up my pre-production office in the place that I'm going to shoot. I'm going to place the story. So that helps me a lot to live in that area and find, pick minute details and nuances. At times I feel very bad that I couldn't incorporate every detail that I found in that place into the story, because we just need few details to run that particular story, right? So I feel like if you take me to Araku, I think you won't find any good location guide than me. So I can tell you history, everything. So those are the things I do. For example, so to be more true to the location, we name. So for example, as a Telugu person, I can understand. Like Telugu people can find those names very different from the names that are there in mainstream cinema. So those names, actually, I don't know whether you recognize them, but those names are very particular to that particular location, that particular district. So what we did is I sent my assistant director with a notepad to go into Araku and other villages around Araku and meet people. Just go to someone, ask their name. That's it. Write it down in your. So he came up with like 2-3 pages full of list, and there are like names that I haven't heard in my life. So from there, at the same time, we have to connect audience to the character names also. Otherwise, so there are few names like Sukri. Sukri is one of the names that I like. No other Telugu person would have heard that. Just because I heard that, I couldn't place it. It should be neutral, right? Yeah. So we used to pick we literally picked the names from the list that my assistant director brought to me, and the characters, the actors also for Kanchirapalam, all the actors are locals of Kanchirapalam, except very few people. For this people, I wanted to mix seasoned actors with local people, because even I have to get an experience of directing professional actors.
Right.
So we picked five professional actors, and we threw them in that place. We just threw them and just asked them to live there for 37 days. So little detail that I wanted to bring is the faces, the features of faces of people who live on hills are different from the features of people who live on the plains. So that little difference I wanted to bring. So we, so all the extras played in the background are everyone, wherever we go. If we are doing we shot the whole film around, in and around 100 kilometers around Arku. So wherever we go, so today's shoot is in Santari. Okay, all the extras for that particular day shoot, except mandatory actors, all the extras would be from that place. So we used to take extras from that place, and if it is Padabailu, from that place, because if we are placing a scene in particular place, automatically when we live in a place, in a village or any place, we automatically become the properties of that place. So some sort of I don't know, uniqueness will be there for every place, and the people who live in that place have that uniqueness. So that's the reason why I took them. If you see, there are in few main characters also, we casted them from Araku, and all those faces are little different. Like they're living on top of a hill, and their skin is red. So as you mentioned in your one line that I loved in your whole write-up was all shades of brown. So something I love that line. So to bring that, we did all these kind of things. These are things that I practice while making a film. Yeah, I don't know whether if I make a multi-million film, I will definitely try to be authentic. But since I'm not a multi-millionaire yet, so I don't know. I have to research. I have to meet people, talk, and live in their houses for some time.
Yeah, you should
Yeah.
go and live in Mahesh Babu and NTR's houses, because you've referenced both of them in your film.
Okay. So you came to this point now.
Yeah, no. I'm not going to go to that point, but I do want to talk about one element of commercial cinema, which is very nicely done in your film. It has a lot more laugh out loud humor than Maheshinda Pratikaram. I mean, that there the humor is there, but it's a little subtler. Here the humor is a little, I really was laughing loud in a lot of places. Was that intentional to say that, okay, the rest of the movies is a little like a tough sell, so let's at least, give the Telugu audiences some like comedy moments?
So we shouldn't blame audience for not watching good films or stories like Maheshinda Pratikaram or dramas. Because we are not feeding them good films. That we are not feeding them these kind of films. Not like I don't want to judge which is good, which is bad, but these kind of films are new to Telugu audience. Once they're very used to this kind of films, like in 80s and 90s, Rajendra Prasad Garu. There's this second tier of actors who used to do stories, not not spectacles and all something. So they used to tell just a slice of life stories. But after some time, like for the last almost 20 to 25 years, it was missing in. I am not talking about like it's missing in the whole Indian cinema. But right now, as we are talking about Telugu cinema, I'm just referring Telugu cinema. I just wanted to bring it back, but without disappointing audience, without testing audience patience or like audience intelligence. So that's why I added little more humor to the film, because so that audience, it's like treat for them to make used to these kind of films. So they enjoyed the humor at the same time. So that humor mixed into this film, and it made audience love the film. So that's what. Now they got used to this kind of drama with a little bit of humor. If I make my next film, like very dramatic film like Roma, for example, Alfonso Cuarón's Roma, they'll be prepared to watch that kind of film. So I just want to mix a little bit humor so that they'll feel happy, and they'll also get used to the dramas. So yeah, that's the only reason I amplitude the humor, at the same time the emotion of the revenge also, little bit, very little bit. Yeah. For Ugrovasya, Pravina asked me, whom do you want to cast from the popular act? I would cast Prabhas in this film with a thick mustache. Till Bahubali, Prabhas Garu was the star in Telugu. Rajmouli Garu and Shobhu Garu, they released the whole film like almost throughout the world. With that release, he became a national star. He's now very popular in national cinema. I was not insulting any actor in the film. I could only imagine the day NTR Garu fans go to Mahesh Babu Garu's film on the first day and appreciate that film instead of just ranting about the film on Twitter. That day will be a wonderful day for film industry, and vice versa. In Mahesh and Pratikaram also, they actually spoke about even bigger stars like Mohanlal Garu and Mammootty Garu. People after 100 years watch my film, they have to say, this is a great filmmaker. Yeah, like this is from the old times.